and you will have hopefully a ship that does not run off into the ocean. Okay, well, that's a horrible start. Hello everyone, Purge here, and welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. So, previously on my channel, I started a how to get started efficiently guide. This is the same kind of video here. Basically what I'm doing here is the purpose of this little video series will be to get started quickly, get all the, get the most important things that you need to get done quickly out of the way as efficiently as you possibly can. There will be probably various iterations of this series that I will create over time as the game updates, because this is an in development, actively developmental game. Blah. So as things change, I will update these videos. Let's go ahead and randomize the seed a little bit. All right, there we go. And set it. So yeah. Basically, the point of this is I'm going to be doing things very quickly. I'm going to be doing a lot of things as quickly as possible. That is the point of this this series. Hopefully, in under an hour, you will be able to have your very own base set up that is at least semi-protected from drones, or defensible rather by drones, and you will have hopefully a ship that does not roll off into the ocean. Okay, well, that's a horrible start. You saw this seed. Do not choose this seed. Yeah. Cut! Okay, we're going to try that again. So, when you start, spin around, get an immediate idea of your surroundings, and locate your ship. Now, come around to the left side of the ship and loot the 3 boxes shown here. You'll notice that I put a couple things back. That's my personal preference. I don't like having the filler flatten tool or the plastic in my inventory, as it just takes up space and they're not used right now. So I put them back. Not a big deal. You don't have to do that. Put 3, yes, 3, not all 5, but only 3 fuel packs into your fuel tank, and then dump all the minerals as shown there into the constructor and start 10 fuel packs, then hop in and turn on the ship and hop back out. Now, the first part of our building is we're going to create our base starter block. So to do that, we need 6 metal plates, 19 whole blocks, and a base starter block. Now, why the 19 whole blocks? You only need 8 for the base starter block. Well, the other 11 are for actually building up the base a little bit, so you have enough room to place your equipment. And that's just my personal style of doing it, so you don't have to do that exactly. Don't forget to put the core in there like I did. This is a great time to organize your inventory however you wish. You have, what, about 3 minutes or so, 3.5 minutes before those things are done being made. So, organize your inventory, place your oxygen generator on your bar, and go hunt down some water. I got very lucky and my water was right next to my ship, so I didn't have to hunt very far. You may have to run in a direction for a minute or so. Open your map with M to find some water if you need to. When you find water, place your oxygen generator. Place your fuel inside of it. I'm having trouble locating my fuel right now. Place your fuel in it to get it started, especially if you're on Omicron. If you're on Akua, it's not as important, but it is still important. Also, if you are on Akua, do not forget to turn off your helmet. I believe the default key for that is H. You'll see here I'm picking up some fiber plants. Get a good look at those plants because you're going to be looking for those for a while here at the beginning. And if you do a good job at collecting them at the beginning, you will not have to collect fiber for a very long time. So I'm just looking at the map here, trying to get an idea of my surroundings. And normally, as I said, I have to walk much farther, usually around 200 meters or so to find some water. So I would normally be on my way back to the ship by this point. Still on my way back. However, regardless of when you get back to your ship, regardless of the status of building this block, you can start the next part of the construction process. Now, the next bit, we're going to make some base equipment. So we need 13 control devices, 39 electronics, 19 cables, 38 metal components, 9 pipes, 6 computers, 3 motors, 2 capacitors, and a reactor core. Now, eventually I'll be able to make the reactor core here as soon as that block is done. Okay, there it goes. And once the base starter block itself is done, I'll make a large constructor as well. Now, you notice right there, I pulled the fuel out, and I'm filling up the fuel tank here. Do not forget to do that, or you'll run out of fuel, and you will not complete construction, and it wastes time. So, grab your construction block and start the large constructor building process as well. And now you're just going to run over to your base, collecting fiber and food and such as you do so. Now, you'll notice here I'm very particular about placing my starter block, and how I place my blocks around my base is also very particular. This is my method. You can copy it if you wish, or you can come up with your own method, however you want. The way I do this, and the reason I do it this way, is I have it set so that my oxygen generator touches the blocks that I just put down this first row of 3, which allows me to enclose it later on. I'll show you when I do that in a later segment of the series. So I go on one side, the side nearest to the oxygen generator. Then I go around the back, quote unquote, and then the right side in order to create this square area that I will then be able to place my equipment on. Now we have a long time. We have about 15 minutes of time to burn here. So, pick a direction on the map, or, since I have this iron deposit that spawned, or that I found as I spawned into the game, I'm going to go this direction. And you're looking for 4 things. 1, you're looking for deposits, such as the iron deposit there. 2, you're looking for fiber plants, as you saw before. 3, you're looking for plasma stalk groups. You'll see them later on here. They're important because the plasma stalks give you plasma, which are used in making medkits. They also give you, scattered around the plasma fields, you'll find sugarcane, which is used for making pies, and aloe, which is used for making advanced medkits. And the last thing you're looking for is food. You'll see here that I'm killing a triceratops, a big one specifically. Little ones are pretty much useless. Unfortunately, I took a hit here and I need to use a medkit, but as you see, they give quite a bit of meat. There's 3 sources of food that you're going to be looking for early on. You're going to be looking for some meat. If you're on Akua, kill a triceratops like I did there. If you're on Omicron, I recommend killing arachnids for some meat. They can give you a good amount of meat as well. The second source of food on Akua is corn dogs. Well, actually on either planet is corn dogs, which are right here. And the third source of food are Akua fruit plants, which, well, there's a fiber plant. You'll see an Akua plant here coming up shortly, I believe. I find one right after I come over to this plasma stock field. Here's the little plasma field I was talking about before. And this is a perfect one because you'll see there's some sugarcane here. Right next to that sugarcane is aloe, but I don't pick it up yet. So grab the plasma from the stalks, grab the sugarcane, and if you feel like it, grab the aloe. The aloe has, I think it's 40 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that, perish time. It does last quite a while, but usually if I pick up aloe at this stage in the game, it just goes to waste. So I don't usually bother picking it up myself. You can do it however you wish. You can pick it up or not pick it up. It's up to you entirely. So when the plasma stalks turn green, they are no longer viable for picking. Some of them will start green. You'll walk up to them, they'll be green. Usually either it'll be like that if you've already picked them before and you come back and they just haven't respawned yet. Other times they'll just start out that way, as you'll see later on here in this sequence. So that's what you're looking for. Coming up here, you'll find an Akua plant, and I'll point that out to you. And so yeah, like I said, you have about 15 minutes from starting the construction process. Now, these corn dogs and Akua plants, there's the Akua plant I was talking about before, are very important because we're going to be using those to make... Oh, there's some coffee beans, by the way. Those are not for eating. I just collect them because coffee is amazing. we're going to be using the food that we're picking up now, aside from the meat, to make spoiled food later on for our farm. The meat we'll be eating, and the rest of that stuff will be the sugarcane and the coffee beans excluded. We will be eating the corn dogs, or not eating the corn dogs. We will be using the corn dogs and the Akua fruit to make spoiled food. You can eat it if you need them, but otherwise, use them for spoiled food. If you are on Omicron, however, find eggs on the ground and use them. Not eggplant parts, but actual eggs. They have a 10-minute spoil period, which is the shortest in the game. And collect, 7 of those, and it's much better that way. As you continue along your way, just find a point on the map, go to it, and when you get to that spot, turn around and go back to your ship. Because after about 15 minutes, your constructor is going to be done. This is a T6 plasma right here. I picked up one before, but this one's green. Those T6 plasmas are few and far between, so when you find them, you definitely want to pick them up because it requires 2 for each advanced med kit. So pick them up when you see them. Once you've gone in the direction that you decide to go and you decide, okay, well, I've gone far enough, let's go back to base, I'll show you what to do then. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the rest of this sequence until I get back to the ship, and I will meet you there. Here you'll notice that creatures can actually push your ship around, which is kind of annoying sometimes. I just threatened to shoot that dinosaur, don't worry about it. Once you get back to the ship, go ahead and put in a cargo box, a food processor, and the generator with the red dot specifically. That specific generator. This one has a red dot right here. This one over here has green and blue dots. You don't want that one. That's only for SV and HV. This one here says BA. That's the one we want. That's the one that you use for the base. Same thing goes for the fuel tanks, but we'll get into that later. So, once you've done that, it's very simple. Pick another direction and go. Following the same rules as before, you're going to be collecting the same kind of thing. However, you're going to want to make sure that you check your inventory first and make sure that your inventory isn't too full. Because if you've got too much food on you, you're not going to have enough room to pick up any other useful things. And it's just going to cause problems down the road. So just check to make sure that, you have no more than, say, 12 pieces of food, excluding meat. And right here you'll notice there's actually 2 different colors of dinos. They do behave differently, so if you want to, just go ahead and shoot them and find out what happens. Now I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the rest of this sequence because it is literally the exact same as the previous sequence, just in a different direction. And I will see you when I'm done. Now I stop fast forwarding here because I begin to showcase some advanced jumping techniques. If you watch, I jump into the air and I use my jetpack in order to hover a bit more, and what this does is it preserves the sprint bar, the stamina bar, and it even allows me to go a little bit faster over uneven terrain. If you pay very close attention to the bars in the bottom left hand corner, you can kind of see exactly how I'm doing it. I'll give you a quick hint. You jump first while sprinting, then you turn on your jetpack. Don't forget to turn off the jetpack before you hit the ground as well. It's simply a rhythm thing. Once you've got the rhythm down, it's very easy. Whew, made it just in time. Alright, so make sure you pick that fuel tank with the red dot, not that one. This one. That says BA. That's the one we need for the base. If you choose the other one, you just wasted time, resources, and you're going to get frustrated because you picked the wrong one. Now you'll see here I'm picking the things out of the constructor and I'm placing them on my bar because the next part of this process is taking all of this equipment that I'm making now and placing it on our base platform. Once you have all of your equipment on your bar, simply run over to where you started your base at. Now, the way I set my base up is very specific, and you do not have to follow it exactly, but my method allows you to stand in one place and access the constructor, the food processor, and the cargo box without ever having to move. Next, you'll also see me place the fuel tank up one block a little bit, see right there, and this allows me to put the oxygen tank behind it later, which saves some space. Do not forget to put fuel in the fuel tank, or when you hit Y to turn on your base, nothing's gonna happen. And now begin emptying your inventory. First, put all of your meat into the food processor, make salami with it, and then continue emptying the organic materials and food into the food processor as shown here. Now, believe it or not, that siren is actually good news, because that means drones are coming to attack our base. Now, don't panic. The drones are very weak. They don't hit very hard. They only take maybe 10 or 12 pistol bullets to kill, so just don't panic. What this means, though, if you get it this early like I did, you know where they're going to come from in future attacks because they always come from the same exact place every single time. Now, unfortunately, I did not get this drone attack on camera. However, in a subsequent episode, there will be footage of me taking out some drones. So, do not worry. You can see how that turns out in a later episode. Don't forget to make sure that your guns are loaded before the drones actually get there, or you will have troubles. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, etc. Hope to see you next time. This is Purge, signing off.